Welcome back. So tensions ran high yesterday following widespread protest in Tembisa. Residents took to the streets on Sunday evening and throughout Monday, blocking roads with rocks and burning tires, all in protest of what they call unaffordable electricity price hikes and a rising cost of living. The demonstrations ultimately led to a significant announcement yesterday from the city of Ekurhuleni. The Mayor Nkosindiphile Xhakaza, in response to the community's outcry, declared a temporary suspension of the controversial 126 Rand monthly fixed electricity surcharge. Let's now bring in the city's mayor into this conversation, Nkosindiphile Xhakaza, to delve deeper into the decision that the city has now taken and what the next steps are. Mayor, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Let's just quickly start with what's the situation like currently in Tembisa following your visit yesterday?
No, thank you very much for the opportunity. We are happy that our intervention has actually led to the suspension of the protest and then to allow the the talks that had already began, led by the ward councillors in the main. The overnight were able to demobilize, utilizing the councillors and also the various community stakeholders, including the Tembisa Community Forum. Of course, there were sporadic, areas where there was a bit of what I could term, closer to criminal elements, around the Tembisa Plaza. You would know that it was vandalized with the July 2021, protest, and we could pick up similar, mobilization, which is nothing else but criminality. But we are happy that everything is calm. People are back to work. Everyone is gone back to school, and then this gives us an opportunity then to engage and take through the various petitions that we've actually received, to consider them in the mayoral committee, and finally go to council, and in terms of what are some of the possibilities that we can consider. But I must say, in the main, the tariffs are agreed. Our communities, they know that every year there are tariff increases. And then they've agreed to them. The only area that they were raising sharply is a fixed charge, and which has now been implemented with the latest review, and it also affects a tariff block, which is meant for indigent, which is meant for the low consuming communities, who are in the main found in our township, and those who do not necessarily qualify for indigent but are still poor. And that is why we then said, let's put up a suspension, let's look at what is the mechanism in the tariff structure to still apply, but yet we cushion the poor.
Yeah. Mayor, what is possible during these 2 weeks, do you think, to come up with a solution? Because on the 7th of July, the council or the metro issued a statement in defense of the surcharge. And that last line in that statement was, finally, in setting the tariffs for the 2025-2026 financial year, the city of Ekurhuleni has considered all factors within its control and made every effort to keep increases reasonable and affordable while ensuring continued and reliable electricity supply to all residents. So what informs this new, let's try and find an alternative, let's try and find a solution, if earlier this month the Metro has already said that we've already looked at all other options that are available?
Yeah, well, I mean, where we come from is, one, we've had experiences with a difficult, protest. In the main, we've had experiences where we've lost life, where there was destruction of property. And it is important that, we have that in consideration in whatever that we do, that we get the situation to be normal, and then we allow for a conversation to actually happen. And that's what we believe. That this suspension, it will actually allow us to do. It's not everything that has actually been suspended, because there's various blocks. There's Tariff A, which is meant for the indigent and the poor. There's Tariff B. There's Tariff C, D. There's various tariffs which caters for different type of customers. Those that are in business, those that are in higher, in upper classes. So it's only one category that we've actually suspended, and that is where we must then find ways to say, how do we cushion them from this 126 rands? What other mechanism can we negotiate with NERSA to allow us to use other avenues? Do we have other sources of revenue? But what is the impact in terms of infrastructure upgrades, in terms of infrastructure maintenance that we might have to be impacted if we don't carry through this cost? Yep. So those are some of the considerations that we'll have to take through. But in the main, we must also have further engagements with communities, because one of the areas where they say, you've consulted, but you have not consulted enough. And we believe that we have to take extensive engagement to ensure that, whatever that we finally resolve on, it is actually understood by all parties.
Yeah. So is it fair then, Mayor, to say that because of the violence that played out yesterday, that's the reason why you responded in the way that you responded?
Well, I mean, it's not only that. We must respond in different situations. And I must say that protest, and sometimes violent, it does take place across the city on various service delivery complaints. We've had housing complaints in the south, in Palm Ridge, where the waste collection issues in Daveyton. There's various issues that the communities do bring on the table, and sometimes we have to be firm. But here we must say, to some extent, out of the conversation, you had to make some concession to say, let's allow us to go to the table and to have engagement. Yep. And we're appreciating that there's been a month-long, since 1st of July, there's been various interventions, councillors leading the issues in communities, various community bodies bringing the issues up, and we have to then allow. We're left with only a few days to the mayoral committee, to a council meeting, to actually allow us an opportunity to reconsider what are the options that are available, because in reality is that there is a cost as well. There's about 300 million in this year, in our budget. So we'll have to look at what is possible if we do not pass it. In the main, it's not for everybody. It's to caution the indigent who said they are also impacted, to caution the poor who said they are actually impacted. Yep. And what are the various ways, where can we cross-subsidize and all that in order
So does it mean that you could come back and then say that, listen, once again, we've looked at all available options and unfortunately there's none. This is now after the 2 weeks.
It is possible that we can go back and say, let's have conversation. How do we best assist each other? While we're stomaching this charge, what are other mechanisms? Because there's variety of other packages. What we've realized is that needs to be explained extensively, including the social packages that we actually have. We've introduced a 75% debt write-off, so that those who are already under pressure, we're able to assist them to rehabilitate. We've expanded our indigent program to get more people to qualify who are relying on that tariff Tariff A to actually qualify. So there's a various of conversation that we must have that is linked to affordability, because in the main, the battle is about the impact of the cost of living. What is it, the impact on our customers' disposable income, and I think that is a big battle. And you and me will agree that the economic situation and some of these tariffs, I mean, including to those who are employed, who are even in upper classes, they do feel the impact of electricity and municipal services over and above the cost of living.
Yeah, tough times indeed for everyone, including, as you say, the ones who are employed. Just a quick final one, Mayor. Following that press briefing by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi of the so-called syndicate that involves Metro Police as well, have you decided to look into some of these allegations and investigate them? The DA in Ekurhuleni has also called on you to investigate the Community Safety Commissioner, Julius Mkhwanazi, and his connection to Ket Matlala because of that contract, the security contract that was awarded to his company, Ket VIP Protection Services. Are you looking into this at all?
Well, at this stage, I'm not aware of a contract being awarded. The current security contract was awarded before my time, and I have not received a report that there is a CAT, VIP part of those, contractor on the panel that have been appointed. Of course, there's various other allegations that have actually been made. And various other unofficial sources that has actually been brought, to me, and I am yet to actually be advised in terms of what is the best, because we do not act on everything that we actually receive. We carefully get advice in terms of what is the best mechanism. Just to get a report, it's not something that you just wake up and abruptly. You have to carefully say, the city manager, please provide me with this type of a report. But we're also careful because some of these issues have been mentioned in that media report. Commission has now been established. We'll also await guidance. We don't want to also jump the gun. So it is a matter that requires a careful consideration.